But Champ, let's talk about the NFL, man. We got some big games heading tomorrow. We got the Carolina Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The rematch between these two teams. Whoever wins the NFC South. I'm gonna lean towards Tampa. Now, Tampa, they suffered a tough loss against Miami. Carolina, they had a chance to win it against Seattle, but for whatever reason, Seattle's defense, you can't ask nothing more from Seattle's defense. Charbonnet, as far as what he can do in the red zone, I mean, already has 11 rushing touchdowns this season. Sam Darnold didn't even play that well in that game, but somehow they just found ways to capitalize. With it's the turnovers from Bryce Young, and I'm like, look, man, Tampa Bay, you had opportunities, and it's sad because at one point in the season we were talking about them as one of the top teams of the NFC. Heck, Baker Mayfield early on was looking like the MVP candidate. But then the team fell apart due to injuries. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving. I think this is also a hot seat game for Todd Bowles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dave Canales, he's done his job with this team. This is his first year. And I think if he wins, and if the Carolina Panthers, have they won enough games to make it to the playoffs, I don't believe he'll be coach of the year. However, he should have more consideration, especially with the job he's done with Bryce Young and with this team. Considering how awful the owner, David Tepper, has been since he took over the previous owner in Jerry Richardson. I have Tampa winning this one. I think it's going to be 20-17. I think if Carolina has any chance of winning, Bryce Young is going to have to make some plays. You're going to have to find a way for him to push the ball down the field more, or you're going to have to help him with the running game with Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. So, Emeka Ibuka, even though early on you were looking like the offensive rookie of the year, I think it's Teotara McMillan's to lose at this point. I think for Carolina, if they have any chance of winning this one, they're going to have to be more aggressive offensively. And you look at their defense. I mean, J.C. Horn has been playing like a top 10 corner this season. Eric Brown. You know, we talk about Jeffrey Simmons as far as interior lineman, Jalen Carter. But you got to throw in Derek Brown into that conversation.
Yes, indeed.
If he can have a type of game like he had against the Rams a few weeks ago, in which they won that one. But I got Tampa in this one 20-17. Who you got, big fella?
Harrison, I got you. North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Twist it around your head. Sort of like a helicopter. Bring it home. All y'all got to do is win. And you're in. And the thing is, y'all could lose and still get in. Because if the Falcons win and beat the New Orleans Saints, well, let me rephrase that. When we beat the Aints, y'all can still lose and get in. So y'all can have a big day either way.
Kind of like how you beat the Rams on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Hey, fun fact, and shout out to BRF for bringing this to my attention. I went digging. Do you know the Atlanta Falcons are 11-4 once we're eliminated from playoff contention? It's a damn shame. That is a shame.
Well, that's distractions.
It's a shame.
Well, that's not really a surprise, champ, that BRF mentioned that point. You know why? Because you've often said it's kind of like with your sneaky link. Your sneaky link cheating on you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, that's crazy.
I guess, or worst case scenario, God don't love Atlanta.
Either that or, well, I'll leave that out. But
Well, guy's
Yeah,
already dealing with the Wags. How much more shit could he go through?
yeah, but I don't know what Atlanta. And what makes me mad about Atlanta is they have the talent. It'd be
We
one
know.
thing they didn't have the talent. You got the talent, so it's just like it's crazy.
Why do you
Like I
think I?
said,
Why do you think I call them they're like the Dallas Southeast version of the Dallas Cowboys?
no, they're worse. They don't even get to the playoffs with the
No,
talent that they have.
no,
With
but
Dallas,
Chip,
you can at least say they get to
Chip.
the
The reason
playoffs.
why I call them the Southeast version of the Dallas Cowboys, look at all that talent that they have. Dallas Cowboys, I've told you all along with Jerry. Said, look, I've been critical of Jerry Jones long enough, and I will still get on Jerry Jones. But there is no doubt about it when it comes to accumulating talent.
Yeah,
You talked about how they have 6 Pro Bowls in this year's Pro Bowl game.
yeah,
6.
6.
But I also told you in 2019 they had 5 Pro Bowlers.
Mhm.
Byron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence. They still didn't make the playoffs.
No,
So we
no,
can look
indeed
at
not.
players all we want, and obviously Trayvon Diggs, he's no longer a member of the Dallas Cowboys. The Green Bay Packers picked him up. We'll see how he'll be transitioned with the Green Bay Packers. But at the same time, Jerry, that's also on you. The atmosphere that you create, the coaching, the personnel. I told you before, Chad, they should have not hired Matt Eberflus. You're
Yeah,
like,
we
come on,
both.
Jerry, what are you thinking?
What is this about right now? I don't know what that was about, but yeah, that's
Freemason?
yeah, a little bit more than pre-base. Yeah, but that's crazy. I ain't
But
used that in a while.
you got Carolina in this one. All you saying is just win. Don't be
All they
pretty,
gotta
be
do is
good.
win. All they gotta do is just win, man. Just win. And win for my guy Harrison, man. Win for my guy Harrison. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see him. He was, a little bit distraught in the group chat a couple days ago after the playoffs. Not after the playoff, after the game. But win it for my boy Harrison, man. Give him a great New Year's present of you going to the playoffs. Give him that great New Year's Day present, man. And go ahead and step your ticket to the playoffs.
This will be the
Do that for
first
my guy Harrison.
time. This will be the first time in the David Tepper era they will make the playoffs. They haven't been to the playoffs since 2017. So we'll see how that goes. But I would like to see my man Baker win. And again, for those Baker Mayfield, yes, he has regressed this season, but let's not act as if Baker Mayfield can't play football. Come on now. A lot of injuries played along the way with this team. I understand. He was drafted with the number 1 overall pick. It was a mistake taking him over Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, if you look at it. But Baker Mayfield has resurrected his career.
Yes, indeed. And he lost Liam Cohen. He lost Liam Cohen.
But look at the amount of offensive coordinators he's had to work with throughout his career, champ.
Yeah.
You talk about how difficult it is for Jalen Hurts to understand an offense. Well, what the hell makes you think for a Baker Mayfield?
Yeah. That's how come I salute him and Jalen Hurts. Because coordinators matter. No matter on the offense or the defensive side. Because if you really look at the playoffs this year, a lot of these guys are coordinators. Carolina Panthers, they're on the verge of making the playoffs. He was a coordinator, right?
Yes, he was.
Liam Cohen, coordinator.
And look at the year that he had with Baker Mayfield in 2024. Baker Mayfield, I think he was second in the NFL in touchdown passes, only behind Joe Burrow.
Absolutely. When you look at Mike McDonald, look how fast and look how quick that Baltimore Ravens defense fell and hit rock bottom without Mike McDonald.
Yes. Look at Mike Vrabel. Now, Ben Johnson, of course.
Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Look how quick the Detroit Lions went down without them. So yeah, coordinators do matter. I understand people love to give Jalen Hurts a knock. If the coordinator has to hit, everybody suffers when you're a coordinator when you don't hit on that coordinator. Everybody suffers. Hell, funny thing about that, Lamar Jackson went from being MVP to being MV2 once Todd Monken got there. Had one of the greatest seasons that didn't win an MVP, arguably in league history. 1,900. Let that sink in. Over 5,000 yards of total offense. Can't beat it, man.
Just can't. But we got another big game right here. Seattle versus San Fran. Now, whoever wins, number 1 seed, the NFC. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Bang, bang, 9 the game.
Yeah, shout out to Sweetie.
Shout out to Jay Will as well.
Yeah, shout out to Sweetie and Jay Will. Everybody know how I feel about Sweetie.
Champ, here's my thing. I really think we talk about all these great coaches who should be coach of the year. Mike McDonald. Early on, Shane Steichen before the Indianapolis Colts fell apart, and unfortunately, they are now eliminated of the playoffs. We look at Mike Vrabel. But we really got to give more love to Kyle Shanahan, champ. Yes,
Yeah.
I understand. I understand people look at the Super Bowls. The 28-3 Super Bowl. The 2 10-point leads he had in the Super Bowls against Kansas City. Had you run the football, you would have milked the game, kept Mahomes and company on the sideline, and you would have found a way to produce more points. Ironic, that first Super Bowl, I'm more hard on him than the second one, even though you had Christian McCaffrey. Here's why. Brock Purdy, even though he didn't play spectacular in that Super Bowl, he still gave you enough of a chance to win. He wasn't the reason. He just took the ball out of Christian McCaffrey's hands. But that first Super Bowl, in which Raheem Mostert in that NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers, he had over 200 yards rushing.
Yeah,
Jimmy Garoppolo only threw the ball 8 times.
Yeah.
8! But you wanted to put the ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. Why? No disrespect to Jimmy Garoppolo, but why would you throw the ball? Now, the first Super Bowl, the 28-3 Super Bowl, well, you did have Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was a proven commodity. Matt Ryan was a top 8, top 10 quarterback. That was the year in which he won the league MVP, and he was putting up great numbers. It was either him or Rodgers for the league MVP. But you went with Matt Ryan. No problem with that. Although you did have Devontae Freeman, who was a solid running back and who was averaging over 4 yards a carry and made the Pro Bowl in 2016. I think it's simple for Kyle Shanahan. We really should have more conversations for Kyle Shanahan as coach of the year. And which is why you've mentioned before, San Francisco would be a damn fool letting him go. I mean, besides, look at what he's done with this team, not just with Mac Jones, who has resurrected his career, and I've told you before, champ, Bill Belichick. Why do you think I'm being too hard on Bill Belichick? Hey, Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, those are the best types of coaches I have to work with if I'm Mac Jones. I mean, it's kind of like your time in Atlanta when you had Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke as your quarterback. So, my thing is with Kyle Shanahan. And he's doing this, and the other reason why he should be in the conversation for Coach of the Year, look at the amount of injuries San Francisco has had. Christian McCaffrey, still in the conversation as one of the best running backs in the NFL, has been healthy for the most part compared to last season and years before. George Kittle is still there. Brock Purdy's coming off an amazing game last week against the Chicago Bears. Him and Caleb Williams, they went toe for toe. I think Sam Darnold is prone to make mistakes, and I think he's going to make some mistakes in the game against San Francisco. And shout out to the DC, Robert Saleh. You want to talk about rejuvenation? I mean, after going from New York to now going back home in San Francisco, and with that defense, even without Bosa and Fred Warner, still finding ways to win. I got San Fran, man.
Bang, bang, not a gang. Shout out to Pop Pops, too, by the way. That's his team, so.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into some more NFL picks. Colts versus Texans.
The Texans.
Texans as well. Dallas at New York.
Dallas.
The Giants. Yeah. Dak's going to put up 350 yards and probably 3-4 touchdowns. Whew. This is an interesting one, although these two teams, damn sure ain't making the playoffs. Cleveland at Cincinnati.
Myles Garrett, please break that record, man. Break that record. I want to see this, man. I will be watching that game in order to see that sack record fold. I want to watch that game, man, because I want to see the great Myles Garrett do some things, man. Myles Garrett, that guy's special, man. He's already on the all-time sack list already. Not to mention, look, I have to bring up this, all-time sack leaders in the NFL. So right now, Myles Garrett has in 9 years, mind you, I just said 9 years. Myles Garrett has accumulated. Mind you, I'm going to repeat myself again and say 9 years. Did I say 9 years? He has over 124 sacks in just 9 years. And 24 sacks. Now, he needs one to surpass 125. Once he passes 125, he will be ahead of Dwight Freeney, and he will be 1 sack behind Derek Thomas, 3 sacks behind Ricky Jackson, and 8 behind Lawrence Taylor. That's what he has done in 9 years. So 1 sack will put him 20th on the all-time list with Dwight Freeney. And then he will need 1 more to surpass Derek Thomas, who was one of the best pass rushers in the 90s. He did that in 9 years.
Had it not been for that suspension, champ, he probably would have surpassed it.
He probably would. I still remember him hitting that dude in the damn.
Mason Rudolph, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how legit Myles Garrett was, champ. He was on pace to having another Pro Bowl caliber season. He already had double-digit sacks during that 2019 season. He probably would have broken Dwight Freeney's record by now. I mean, 9 years. Yeah.
And if they gave him more one-on-one situation, if they left him on the island, I remember in that Buffalo game, they triple teamed him.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they would put 2 linemen on it and did their chipping. They triple teamed it. They made sure he didn't break the record. If he has a chance to break any record right about now, it will be against Joe Burrow because that offense is garbage. So Myles Garrett break that record. Myles Garrett break that record. Plus, I want the great Sadua to win. So I'm going to take Cleveland.
Aints versus Falcons.
F I L A forever. I love Atlanta. Beat the Aints into the ground. Put Tyler Shoe on his back and make sure that Bijan Robinson breaks that record. He only needs 250 yards in order to break the all-time yards from scrimmage record that was set by Chris Johnson. Make sure he gets that record. All right? Let's do it.
I'm afraid that undisputed world champ will jinx his Atlanta Falcons, and somehow Tyler Shoe unexpectedly will find a way to win. So I'm going with the Saints. He did beat the Buccaneers unexpectedly, though. You got to give him that. And Tyler Shoe has actually played solid so far these past couple of games.
Yeah, 3 straight 300-yard games. Got to give credit where credit is due.
Packers at Vikings.
Go, Pack, go. Shout out to Flash.
Packers it is. Titans at Jaguars. Obviously, Jaguars.
I don't know if they're going to play their starters, though.
They may not. I mean...
They do still have a chance to get the number 1 seed, but I don't know if they're going to risk it like that. So, I don't know about that game, but I picked the Jaguars just to stay safe, though.
Chargers at Broncos. That is going to be an interesting one.
Chargers.
Go, Bo, go. Cardinals at Rams, obviously.
Oh, no. Because
Love
Because the
Don,
Rams,
love Donnie, but it's a mess in Arizona.
yeah, it's a big old mess in Arizona. I don't know what they're gonna do with Kyler or what have you. So I don't
Well,
know.
not just that, their defense as well too, champ. It's just
I mean, outside of the Kurt Warner years and a few years with the Don Coryell offense, before Don Coryell eventually went to San Diego and reinvented, people don't understand Don Coryell's offense came from Arizona Cardinals. There was Air Coryell before Air Coryell with Jim Hart and company. And, God rest his whole Comrade Dobler. Y'all don't know who Comrade, go look up Comrade Dobler, one of the original superstar offensive line. So, and Dan Dierdor, one of the best left sides that you're ever going to see. They didn't allow a sack on their side the entire year. That's what you call a wall. But the Arizona Cardinals outside, baby, they'll have a good team a few years, but then they're going to go right back to, what they are. And that's
well, offensively, they're 23rd in team offense according to Pro Football Reference. As far as passing offense in the NFL, they lead in passing attempts with 617. But if you look at passing offense in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals, they're actually 7th. So passing offense, they're 7th in the NFL. Now, as far as rushing offense in the NFL, they are 29th. Only the Las Vegas Raiders, Cincinnati Bengals, New Orleans Saints have worse rushing offenses than the Arizona Cardinals. Now, scoring offense in the NFL, they are 29th. Only the Cowboys, Bengals, and New York Jets have a worse scoring offense than them. As far as points per game, they average around 20.9. Again, only the Raiders, Browns, Titans, Saints, Jets, Panthers, Vikings, Commanders have averaged less points per game than the Arizona Cardinals. And look, only time will tell what they're going to do, man. But shout out to Donnie, man. But I think it's best that you're going to have to trade Kyler Murray. The question is where to? I mean, do you consider him in Minnesota? Do you consider him in Pittsburgh? Because you mentioned that the Minnesota Vikings should probably take a look at Lamar Jackson. Because, look, Minnesota, they have a number one wide receiver in Justin Jefferson. If Brian Flores decides to still stay there, because Brian Flores has done his part with the defensive side, and you got Aaron Jones. Now, again, you're going to have to make some changes with the offense, even though Lamar has improved as a passer. I think this will actually be great for Minnesota. But the question is, what do you do with JJ? You have to trade him. And JJ has shown you some flashes of him having some good performances. He's had some bad performances. He's even had some games in which he hasn't played particularly well, but somehow he finds ways to fight through. So, only time
they should definitely take a look at Kyler. They need a quarterback. They got everything else.
Only problem with Kyler Murray has never been his talent, champ. It's in between the ears. And again, like, you're not going to go that far if you're not studying or watching film. So,
Yeah.
There you have it right there. Chiefs versus Raiders.
The shifts.
They lose to the Raiders. I'm giving them nothing but Fs. Dolphins at Patriots. I believe the Patriots should win this one.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to compete for that number one spot. And look, also for Drake May, too, for him to win the league MVP. Because Matthew Stafford had his chance, but I don't know how you feel after that Monday night game against the Falcons.
I mean, no.
And he's right up there with them statistical categories. QBR, yards, touchdowns, still has a great touchdown to interception ratio. But Drake May's numbers ain't shabby either. If you look at Drake May's numbers, doesn't he have the number one completion percentage in the NFL? Over 4,200 yards passing, which is 4th in the NFL. He's tied 3rd for touchdowns with 30. He's only thrown 8 interceptions. and he leads the NFL in QBR. And I've told you before how good Drake May is, champ.
Yes, indeed, you did. In fact, like I said, like you told me, I'll repeat you, but nothing against your quarterback that you have now. Everybody's grateful for Jaden Daniels. You wanted Drake May because of durability and size and arm strength. So, yeah.
And I also told you about Montez Sweat, though, too.
Yes, indeed. We
Yeah.
almost had it. Until Chicago came in like the last minute and swiped them up, but it's another story for another day.
Well, you have Jalen Walker and you got Pierce. I think your biggest problem is that offensive coordinator. That's your biggest problem. Oh, and shout out to the beautiful Nessa.
Happy birthday. Happy
Yes,
birthday.
absolutely. Happy birthday, beautiful. Thank you for always tuning in. The beautiful Nessa. Go check her out on the Sports for You podcast, the Tribal podcast, the Humble Rose podcast as well. They put out a lot of great content. If you want more wrestling content, look no further than Nessa and JoJo. Also, go check out the Acknowledge the Dynasty podcast as well with Faith in them. They know their wrestling as well. Shout out to those beautiful women. Big fella, we got Commanders at Eagles. I ain't gonna waste my time with that Eagles. So throw that out the way. Detroit at Chicago.
In Chicago. I ain't gonna say the rest, but y'all know what it is.
Man, Dan Campbell, man. Ugh. It's sad. I mean, they have a high-powered offense. Jared Goff has had a damn good year, champ, with Jahmyr Gibbs being in the conversation was like, if you had to say running backs, champ, with Jahmyr Gibbs, top 3, top 5?
Bijan, Christian, Saquon. I put Jahmyr in there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a shame, but Dan Campbell still hasn't learned from his ways. That's a story for another day. Obviously Jets, Bills. Obviously, we're going to go with the Bills.
Yeah, the Jets don't pay the bills in America.
And with that owner and Woody Johnson, please, with the Jets, please.
I can do a better job than that. I ain't got nowhere near $1 billion.
No, I mean, he's going to do his job unless you ask your people to look at Madden ratings. So that's all you're going.
That's weird.
And of course, America's Game of the Week: Ravens at Steelers.
Listen, this is a must-win. Bring it home. I
don't know, champ. I mean, did you hear that recent report about Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, and he came out and debunked a lot of it. There's a lot of look, there's a pattern with a lot of different things. Whenever, questions are coming about with the coach's job is on the line and things like that, a lot of bad information is going to come out about the quarterback at stage of that age. But you don't end up being a 2-time MVP if you follow the CV. I don't think that happens. Oh yeah, shout out to Kia. She's in the chat.
Oh yes, I love that beautiful woman. She is so sweet.
Yeah, Kia. How you doing, Kia?
She needs a win. I'm only gonna rock with the Steelers only because of her.
Kia's a Steelers fan?
Yes.
Damn.
She's a Steelers and an OSU fan.
Damn.
See, this right here confirms it. If that doesn't confirm it, I don't know what will.
Yeah, that confirms it. Sorry, Kia, but I gotta go with Baltimore. Sorry, Kia, I gotta go with Baltimore.
There you go, right there. So, there you go, right there. And
still got love for you, but we gotta go Baltimore.
But she's great. If you need someone to talk to regarding anything, man, there's Kia, there's Nessa and JoJo, and of course D. Love them, beautiful woman. Hey, take it from a man's standpoint. It's always great hearing wonderful advice from a beautiful woman.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You don't always, when you have friends, especially when you have friends that are reckless like myself, you don't want to take my advice all the time.
All right.